A way with lazy living keeps the body pure. Resort to noble conduct. Practice self-control. Be honest and be patient in dealing every day. Simple life and simplicity will simplify the way. नमस्कार, आप देख रहे हैं संसद टीवी। आपके साथ मैं हूं दीक्षा कोहली। आज इस खास कार्यक्रम में हम आपकी उनसे मुलाकात कराएंगे जो इस भागती दौड़ती जिंदगी में आपसे मुलाकात कराते हैं। जी हाँ, आपको शांति से परिचित करवाते हैं, आपको लक्ष्य तक तो पहुंचाते हैं, वो भी सहज मार्ग के द्वारा। इस कार्यक्रम में हमारे साथ हैं पद्म भूषण कमलेश डी पटेल जी, जिन्हें हम प्यार से दाजी कहते हैं। नमस्कार दाजी, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका संसद टीवी। दाजी, ये कार्यक्रम सिर्फ आपके जीवन पर आधारित है। आज सिर्फ आपकी लाइफ जर्नी पर बातचीत होगी। शुरुआत इसी से करना चाहूंगी कि कमलेश डी पटेल जी दाजी कब कहलाना शुरू हुए? किसने आपको पहली बार दाजी कहा?
दाजी तो बचपन में है, बच्चे मुझे दाजी भी कहते थे।
दाजी का मतलब चाचा होता है बचपन में?
हाँ, माय फादर यूज्ड टू एड्रेस मी एज बापू। He would very respectfully, like children are addressed as ठाकुर जी और कान्हा जी, उठो, तो he would very respectfully wake me up every morning. बापू अब उठिए, very respectfully saying, my dear father, wake up. So these were the ways how we tended our children. And I was fortunate to have such parents who spoiled me to its core.
आपका जन्म काला में हुआ, गुजरात। जब आप बहुत छोटे थे तब क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पिरिचुअलिटी थी, वो डिविनिटी थी? क्योंकि अक्सर हमने आपको ये बोलते हुए सुना है कि आप अपने पिताजी से जिद किया करते थे कि आपको वो मंदिर लेकर जाए। तो आपका बचपन कैसा था?
बहुत याद तो नहीं है मुझे, है ना, क्योंकि बचपन की चीज़ें कोई खास तौर से याद नहीं रहती है। लेकिन पापा और मम्मी बता रहे थे कि जब तू बहुत छोटा था, तो इवन दो आप चल नहीं पाते थे, फिर भी आप जिद करते थे कि शिव जी के मंदिर ले जाओ या रामचंद्र जी के मंदिर ले जाओ। वहाँ हमारे दो तरह के मंदिर थे, तो पिताजी की धोती खींचता मैं कुछ उसके बिना वो जा नहीं पाते थे, वो तो ले जाते उठा के और वहाँ वो पूजा कर लेते। मैं वहाँ चुपचाप के बैठा रहता वहाँ पे, एंड देन वापस घर
आ जाते। 18 के आप हुए तो आपकी जिंदगी में एक बदलाव आया। आपको, या तो मैं यूं कहूँ कि 12 घंटे के लिए आप सन्यासी भी रहे।
जी,
वो क्या किस्सा है?
ओह, एक्चुअली आई वाज वेरी मच मूव्ड बाय परमहंसा, रामकृष्ण परमहंसा's गॉस्पेल। हमारे गांव की लाइब्रेरी में उनकी किताबें थी, पढ़ लिया। 12 साल का था जब मैं, तो इतना इम्प्रेस हो गया मैं कि हमें अभी रामकृष्ण परमहंस जैसे गुरु की तलाश करनी शुरू करनी है, हमें विवेकानंद जैसे बनना है। एक तरह का आदर्श बन गया, आइडियल बन गया कि इनके जैसे बनना है। उनकी जो तड़प थी परमहंस जी की फॉर मदर काली, ही यूज्ड टू क्राई लाइक ए चाइल्ड एंड शी यूज्ड टू आल्सो अपीयर एज इट इज रिटन, and every page would bring tears to your eyes. He was mesmerized. इतना पागलपन था उन्होंने, और लगा कि ऐसे पागलपन के बिना ईश्वर प्राप्ति कभी संभव ही नहीं है। तो ऐसी लगनी लग जाए प्रेम की, एक तरह का वो भाव शुरू हो गया ऐसे। लेकिन छोटा था, क्या करे, तो कभी कभी वैसे ही बैठ जाता था, वैसे ही आंख बंद करके बैठ जाता। लेकिन एक्चुअल शुरुआत हुई करीबन 17.5 और समथिंग लाइक दैट। तब वैकेशन में घर आया था, फार्मेसी का स्टूडेंट था, तो अचानक ख्याल है चलो आप छोड़ देते हैं, स्वामी विवेकानंद जैसे बन जाते हैं, गुरु की तलाश में लग जाए। तो सुबह निकल गया घर से, नर्मदा किनारे पहुंच गया, क्योंकि हमारा गांव नर्मदा से बहुत नजदीक था
जी। और
वहाँ पे एक बहुत पुराना मंदिर है, बहुत ही पुराना, और वहाँ पे बड़े साधुओं की और खास करके अघोरी बाबा उनकी परिक्रमा हुआ करती थी। वो आगे मध्य प्रदेश से चलते 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 ऑल द वे टिल नर्मदा मर्जिज ते वो परिक्रमा यात्रा करते हैं। तो एक अघोरी बाबा का झुंड था वो मंदिर में, वो शिव जी का मंदिर था
जी।
तो वहाँ देखा मैंने, पूरा दिन बैठा रहा, उनकी कार्यवाही देखता रहा क्या करते हैं। तो बाद में एक वहाँ जो बुजुर्ग अघोरी बाबा थे वो मेरे पास आए, बोले बेटा क्या चाहते हो, क्यों हो इधर। मैंने बोला आप मेरे गुरु बन जाइए, आप मुझे कुछ सिखाइए, आपको सेवा करूँगा मैं। तो वो बहुत भावुक हो गए, उनकी आंखों में पानी भी बरसा थोड़ा, और बोले कि बेटे तू घर चला जा। अभी तक मेरी उम्र 81-82 होएगी शायद, वो भी याद नहीं कितनी उम्र है मेरी, लेकिन जब से घर से निकला हूँ छोटा सा, अभी तक मुझे ईश्वर की प्राप्ति नहीं हुई है, उनके अनुभव भी नहीं हुए हैं। अभी मैं भिख मंगा हो गया हूँ, ये लोग मेरी सेवा करते हैं। कभी कभी सोचता हूँ घर चला जाऊँ, लेकिन घर में कोई पहचान नहीं पाएगा और गांव में मजाक का किस्सा बन जाऊंगा कि सन्यासी हुआ वापिस आ गया, तो लोग मुझ पे हंसेंगे। इसलिए हिम्मत भी नहीं हो रही है जाने की, और आगे मैं बढ़ भी नहीं रहा हूँ। तुम्हारे पास चांस है अभी, तू ऐसा गलती मत करना, तू घर जा। तो मेरा संन्यास सुबह से शाम तक भी नहीं रहा, शाम को वापिस घर।
तो आपको रियलाइज हो गया उनकी लाइफ से कि नहीं, अब मुझे संन्यास नहीं लेना है।
हाँ, फिर भी वो जो तड़प होती है ना, डिस्कशन से थोड़ा और अंडरस्टैंडिंग से समझ तो थोड़ा आ जाता है, लेकिन पूरा कन्विक्शन नहीं होता है ना। जैसे हम ईश्वर के बारे में मानते हैं कि ईश्वर है, लेकिन जब तक उनकी अनुभूति नहीं होए तब सब शास्त्र और सब तरह के कन्विक्शन, सब तरह की अंडरस्टैंडिंग बेकार हो जाती है।
माने मानने और जानने में बहुत अंतर है।
माननीय और जाननीय, बहुत खूबसूरत बताया आपने, बहुत खूबसूरत। ध्यान में बैठ जाता कभी कभी मैं, तो मेरा मित्र बोलता था कि अरे भाई दिस वाज इन हॉस्टल।
ये वही 1976 when you were in 90
करेक्ट,
and you used to meditate without any guru.
करेक्ट। आई जस्ट क्लोज माई आईज एंड जस्ट सिट क्वाइटली ऑन माई बेड। मेरा दोस्त जो था वो बोलते क्या करता है तू यार, रेस्टलेस, ध्यान तो करता नहीं, आंख बंद करके बैठा है, अशांत है मन तेरा। तो बोलो क्या करे भाई, किसी ने सिखाया तो है नहीं, और किसी भी किताब में ऐसे ध्यान करना है किसी ने भी नहीं बताया है। आप देखो, गीता पढ़ो, राइट, बाइबल पढ़ो, कुरान पढ़ो, वेद उपनिषद पढ़ो, रामायण पढ़ो, महाभारत पढ़ो, वशिष्ठ संहिता पढ़ो, नारद सूत्र पढ़ो, सांडिल्य सूत्र पढ़ो, कहीं पे भी आपको नहीं मिलेगा कैसे ध्यान करना है।
तो उस एज में आपके मन में ये बात आ गई थी कि किसी किताब में नहीं है कि ध्यान कैसे करना है, मतलब आप ये सब किताबें पढ़ चुके थे, आपकी तलाश बहुत ज्यादा थी।
और क्योंकि कई किताबें तो पूरी पढ़ने की जरूरत भी नहीं होती है। जैसे मेरे पिताजी मुझे मस्जिद में भी भेजते थे, मैंने नमाज भी की है, किरात भी की है, रोजे भी किए हैं, बांग भी पुकारी है मैंने, है ना। और पूरा कुरान तो पढ़ा नहीं, लेकिन मौलवी जी को पूछता रहता था। आंख बंद करके हम जब नमाज करते हैं क्या करते हैं, क्या भाव होना चाहिए। हम मंदिर में जाते हैं, भजन कीर्तन करते हैं, कैसा भाव होना चाहिए। भाव तो बोलेंगे प्रेममयी भाव होना है और ध्यानमयी होके जाना है, लेकिन कैसे करना कोई नहीं बताता है ना। गीता में भी आप पढ़ेंगे हम कि स्थित प्रज्ञ की हालत होएगी तो मोक्ष मिल सकता है। कबीर जी भी बताते हैं शून्य अवस्था, महावीर जी भी बताते हैं कैवल्य, लॉर्ड बुद्धा he talks about nirvana, Jesus talks of heaven, पतंजलि talks of samadhi। तो ये सब ऊंची बातें तो है, गोल्स तो दिखा दिया, रास्ता नहीं बताया किसी ने कि ऐसे करो।
पर आपके दोस्त ने आपको कहा कि आपको वो रास्ता कहाँ से पता चलता है वहां तक लेकर जाए?
हाँ, उन्होंने बताया कि चल के मैं एक लेडी के पास ले जाता हूँ, और बात नहीं की उन्होंने, वो तुम्हें ट्रांस में ले जाएगी, क्या एकदम समाधिवस्थ कर देगी। तो मैंने बोला इसमें कोई नुकसान तो है नहीं, चलो। तो तुरंत संडे था, रिक्शा लेके चले गए। उस जमाने में तो फोन भी नहीं हुआ करते थे, लैंडलाइन भी नहीं थी, हैंडफोन की तो बात ही छोड़ो। एनीवे पहुंच गए उनके घर सुबह सुबह
जी।
तो बहुत खुश हुई वो तो, मैडम मिसेस अग्रवाल, द्रौपदी देवी अग्रवाल, हाउस लेडी, हाउस वाइफ ऑफ अ वेरी रिच बिजनेसमैन। शी वेलकम्ड अस एंड से एक क्वेश्चन पूछा मुझे, आप ध्यान क्यों करना चाहते हो? मैंने बोला ध्यान करने के बाद मैं स्वामी विवेकानंद जैसा बनना चाहूँगा, पूरे देश में सब पवित्र जगहों पे घूमूंगा, देश की सेवा करूंगा। तो क्या आप संन्यास भी लेना चाहते हो? मैंने बोला कोई छुटकारा तो है नहीं, अपने शास्त्र तो यही बताते हैं सब कुछ छोड़ के ईश्वर की ओर जाना है तो करना ही पड़ेगा। तो मुझे बोली, कोटिंग हर मास्टर दैन बाबूजी महाराज, हमारे गुरुजी कहा करते हैं कि ईश्वर सर्वव्यापी है, उनको कहीं पे ढूंढना जरूर नहीं पड़ता है, जहां भी हो वहां से ढूंढ लो और उनकी अनुभूति हो सकती है। लोग आंखों से दर्शन करना चाहते हैं, ये बड़ी बेवकूफ़ी है। क्या दूसरी चीज बताई, संन्यास लेना, उसका मतलब भी हुआ कि आप शादी नहीं करोगे? मैंने बोला हाँ नहीं करूँगा। तो उन्होंने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा कि भगवान से आप ज्यादा होशियार हो क्या? She said God was not a fool to create two sexes if one was enough. So you are not following God's principle, nature's principle. And no one can reach the ultimate by abandoning the natural law. See, to go towards God or towards godliness, it's a natural process, evolutionary process. All these are enforced processes. And through enforcements, for जबरदस्ती, with hurt, हम कभी भी ईश्वर के पास नहीं पहुंच सकते हैं, कभी भी नहीं। हर्ट करने से वो रूठ जाता है। तो ये दो बातें मुझे पसंद आ गई। उनको बोला तो आप बैठो, हम ध्यान में बैठते हैं। और उन्होंने कुछ बताया नहीं, उन्होंने इतना ही बताया कि आंख बंद कर लो, ईश्वरीय प्रकाश आपके हृदय में है, ऐसा ख्याल रखो, बाकी का काम मेरे मालिक करेंगे। वो तो आंख बंद के बैठा दिया। Within few seconds, I would say, I was lifted up. I felt as if my body had become weightless within few seconds. And I was completely gone. No idea of where I was or who I was. No idea of time and space also at that time. We were in the very first session, see. And as I was going deeper and deeper into that abysmal darkness, I saw glowing hands of Ramakrishna Paramahansa.
Wow.
Just the hand. Golden glow was there. And that's all. And slowly my consciousness, awareness, chetna, वापिस धीरे धीरे आने लगी. But still I was so deep enough, I couldn't open my eyes at that time. Even when my preceptor then, Draupadi Devi, said, बस कीजिए, that's all. फिर भी, then finally she touched my knees and said, enough. And वो खुद रोने लगे कि आपके संस्कार इतने अच्छे हैं, आप जरूर आध्यात्मिकता में प्रोग्रेस करोगे। के और बाद में बताया मुझसे भी अच्छे प्रिसेप्टर है, उनके पास कल एक मेडिटेशन सेशन लेके आना। तो उन्होंने एड्रेस दिया, दूसरे दिन पहुंच गया। तो इस सहज मार्ग की शुरुआत करने के लिए 3 ऐसे सत्संग किए जाते हैं, 1 to 1 विद द प्रिसेप्टर जी। तो उससे अनुभूति हो जाती है। शांति की तो बात करते हैं लोग, समाधि की भी बात करते हैं, लेकिन जब तक अनुभूति नहीं होए तब तक बात नहीं बनती है।
तो जब आपकी पहली बार उनसे मुलाकात हुई, आपने पहली बार उनके सामने बैठ के ध्यान किया, उसके बाद लगातार 3 बार ध्यान करने के बाद क्या आपने भगवान की अनुभूति महसूस की? वो डिवाइन अनुभूति आपको महसूस हुई? क्योंकि पहली बार आपको गुरु तो दिख गए, जिनको आप फॉलो करना चाहते थे उनका हाथ आपको पहली बार दिख गया, लेकिन वो जो डिविनिटी आप फील करना चाहते थे, गॉड इज एवरीवेयर, बट डिड यू फेल्ट गॉड?
I felt godliness. I felt divinity pervading in everything. कभी कभी ऐसे ध्यान में मग्न हो जाते हैं, उसके बाद की जो हालत बन जाती है। इवन व्हेन वी आर, आई यूज्ड टू, कॉलेज में तो हर दिन जाते थे, चलते चलते फ्रॉम हॉस्टल टू कॉलेज एंड बैक फ्रॉम कॉलेज टू द हॉस्टल। इवन व्हाइल वॉकिंग ऐसा लगे कि आप दूसरी दुनिया में हो। गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी का कैंपस लश ग्रीन है, एकदम बहुत भरा भरा, और हर पौधे में, हर ट्रीज में ऐसा लगे कि उनका निवास बहुत स्ट्रांगली प्रेजेंट है। आकाश में देखो, हमारा मन भावुक हो जाता है, ईश्वर तो कितना बड़ा है, तेरी तो कोई सीमा नहीं है। और अंदर ही वो रिफ्लेक्ट होता था। जैसे हम बात करते हैं शांति की, शांति तो बहुत पीछे रह जाती है, समाधि भी बहुत पीछे रह जाती है, उसके भी आगे जाना है। और ये सहज मार्ग हार्टफुलनेस पद्धति से ही ये पॉसिबल है
जी।
मैंने सब कुछ सिस्टम का भी स्टडीज किया है। स्टडी इन द सेंस, बहुत लोग आते हैं, है ना, इनके साथ इंटरेक्शन रहा 40 ऑलमोस्ट 45 इयर्स नाउ आई मीन द सिस्टम
जी।
एंड कई लोग मिले, कई लोग टीएम से भी आते हैं, ट्रांसेंडेंटल मेडिटेशन, अलग अलग ब्रह्मा कुमारी से भी आते हैं
जी। हार्टफुलनेस की मैं बात करूंगी, लेकिन इसके बाद 1 वर्ष के बाद 1977 में पहली बार आप श्री रामचंद्र जी से मिले
जी।
आपका जो पहला अनुभव था, आपको बहुत शांत स्वभाव, बहुत ग्राउंडेड, बहुत हम्बल लगे, लेकिन जब उनके साथ आपकी पहली मुलाकात हुई, वो मुलाकात कैसी थी?
Along with my friend, I ended up at his home. I stayed overnight at the ashram and then went in the morning. और स्नान करके वो तैयार थे अपनी रूम में बैठे हुए, वो भी चुप, उनके अगल बगल में जो 4-5 लोग थे वो भी चुप थे। 9 बजने वाले थे, बोला अभी ध्यान शुरू करेंगे, तो सब शांति से बैठ गए लोग और आंख बंद की, ध्यान शुरू हुआ। उन्होंने हमारी ओर देखा भी नहीं, बात भी नहीं की, कुछ इशारा भी नहीं हुआ
और ध्यान शुरू हो गया।
और दैट्स ऑल बताया, मीन्स ध्यान खत्म। इट वाज 20 मिनट्स और सो। जितना पहला बार मैंने अनुभव हुआ उतना अनुभव नहीं हुआ, लेकिन जो ट्रांसमिशन एक सिस्टम की जो स्पेशलिटी है, प्राणाहुति, इंस्टेड ऑफ फीलिंग इन द हार्ट, आई वाज फीलिंग इट all over my body. Every cell of my body was imbued with that pranahuti, with that transmission. Right? Usme there is no samadhi-like state, but you are. It's like every cell is vibrating with a very subtle sukshma energy, sukshma urja is dancing in you, and you are floating. Even while you are walking, you are floating. I felt that. दूसरा दिन आया सत्संग, हम गए तो किसी ने समाचार दिया कि आज बाबूजी सत्संग नहीं कराएंगे। तुम तुरंत उनको देखे बिना चले गए। तीसरे दिन आए, वो भी सत्संग किए बिना वापस। सो बातचीत कुछ नहीं हुई। जब आखिरी दिन आया, जब उनका घर छोड़ना था, अलविदा कहना था, तब पहुंचे उनके घर 9 बजे से रात को। हमारी ट्रेन सुबह 1 बजे की होती है वहाँ से, काशी विश्वनाथ एक्सप्रेस फ्रॉम शाहजहानपुर टू दिल्ली। 9 बजे हम दूर बैठे थे, बाबूजी साहब वहाँ और उनसे करीबन 20 फीट अवे, एंड ही वाज सराउंडेड बाय एल्डर्स, बुजुर्ग लोग बैठे थे, तो आई डिड नॉट फील के इनको डिस्टर्ब करे, तो दूर बैठे थे मैं, हमारा दोस्त और माई सेल्फ से। तो पता नहीं उनको कैसे पता, देखो वो लड़के के पास प्रसाद है, लेके आओ। Then he sent someone to offer the prasad to his guru and brought it back.
Oh.
And then also conveyed a message through one person that tell that young man to take a lot of butter with the medicine he is taking. That's all. I was very surprised. Why is he telling me that I should? And how in the world, in the first place, he came to know that I am on some medication. You know, barbers itch. You know, when you go to barber, sometimes you come home with infection.
Absolutely.
That, ringworm. I used to suffer with ringworm. 1 or 2 patches were there in those days. And I was taking Rhiziofulvin, antibiotic of those days. That was the only antifungal available.
And no one else knew.
No, I mean, how to know that? And to tell you, they take it with a lot of butter. Now, when I graduated and then went to US, and I saw many prescriptions being dispensed for the same medicine, but they would put a warning sticker on each prescription bottle that is being dispensed to the patient. Take this medicine with butter or glass full of milk.
Oh.
And that's when I learned that only when you take it with butter or glass full of milk, that it gets absorbed into your bloodstream.
Besides, you were a pharmacy student.
I didn't know that, see. As a student, I didn't know. If you don't take it with butter or glass full of milk, hardly 20% will be absorbed in your bloodstream and 80% will be lost without its any efficacy. So he had a very penetrating ability to be sensitive, to perceive others' feelings, what they are going through. So he scans your past, present and future and adjusts his spiritual work. That was his mastery.
And that day, just after that meeting, you left. You did not had any other conversation with him.
Nothing, zero conversation in the first meeting.
But how was the feeling while you were going back?
Oh, I cried like a child. And from station onward till Delhi, almost overnight journey, I was crying and crying and crying. I was somehow touched by his love, unspoken love.
So that day you found your master actually?
Actually, I had found the first day itself. But being a student studying, I couldn't leave Ahmedabad until the vacation came. See, that was the great beginning, I would say.
So besides, because it was the process of transmission, so I would like to know first about the process of transmission. What is transmission?
It's an English word, like dhyan.
Dhyan.
Dhyan is our Sanskrit word. हिंदी में ध्यान कहते हैं, इंग्लिश में उसको मेडिटेशन बताया है.
बिल्कुल.
लेकिन ये उसकी जो डेफिनेशन है भाषा परिभाषा को बहुत गलत बना दिया है. उसका एग्जैक्ट ट्रांसलेशन नहीं हुआ है ध्यान का. ध्यान मतलब कि अपने मन से भी पार जाना है. ट्रांसेंडिंग योर ओन माइंड, going into your being, into the depth of your soul is dhyan. The process is called dhyan. Meditation is defined as focused mind, while dhyan is all about transcending the mind. When you focus your mind, you are not within the definition of dhyan. See? Right. Now, how to transcend the mind? Can anyone transcend the mind? Using the mind to transcend the mind is impossible. Right. So here with heartfulness, the technique is to focus on the heart.
So heart transcends your mind.
Heart, yeah. Because if you see, what is evolution? The whole purpose of human existence is the evolution of consciousness. There is no other purpose. Can your body evolve? It cannot. Our body as of now can only age. We become old, decay and die. My soul cannot evolve. My soul is eternal, immutable, purest. There is nothing more you can add to it. Self-sufficient. So what is it that evolves then? Something in between, our subtle bodies. Chit, Manas, Buddhi, Ahankar. Chit is the product of those three. Chit means consciousness, is affected by Manas, Buddhi and Ahankar. So if Chit has to evolve, other three has to evolve. They have to evolve.
Absolutely.
Now, what becomes of Manas, what becomes of Buddhi, and what becomes of Ahankar as they evolve? We take only one example for our discussion. Manas. Function is to think. So what becomes to the function of mind, the thinking, as it evolves? We move from thinking to feeling. We no longer have to think if you can directly perceive things. So on that, women especially, females, they have a greater advantage. Nature has gifted them a greater ability to perceive, to feel. You see, that's why they are called right-brained. And a man is called left-brain species. Left brain means using a lot of logic, a lot of thinking. Right brain means it is associated with your heart. And the feelings comes first, thought comes later. In man, thoughts come first.
Feelings come later.
Feelings comes later. So when we evolve, as we evolve through spiritual practices, the function of the mind, it's not that it is stopped, but you transcend. And now you are in the different dimension of heart. You feel things there, see. You don't have to think. You are bypassing that step and jumping straight to the feelings. So that's the beauty of this heartfulness way of meditation, where this transition from thinking to feeling happens immediately because of this pranahuti. Transmission is also incorrectly translated, because there is no other better word for pranahuti that is being used by the master of the system. And this pranahuti is transmitted to one and all, which you actually experience. It's not a hearsay thing. It is not a make-believe thing. You actually perceive it and say, yes, I do feel this pranahuti. But then the question arises, what is pranahuti?
Right.
So, and he used to say, my Guruji, that just as our body needs nourishment, just as our mind needs nourishment, just as our heart needs emotional fulfillment, likewise the soul also needs its nourishment.
So the nourishment of the soul is?
Pranasya prana, annasya annam, manasya manam, pranasya prana. So yogi of caliber is able to tap into the source, capture it and transmit it. And he said, I would like to teach this method of tapping into the source and allow the trainers to transmit it. They will not need me anymore.
Wow.
So he trained thousands of people, and now we have almost 16,000 plus trainers worldwide. working exactly like the master, transmitting, making people experience different states of consciousness, passing through this journey, inner journey from the lowest chakra to the highest.
The same way you had the experience for the very first time before meeting your master.
Correct, yeah. And everyone can feel that. Everyone can feel it without exception. You want, that single desire has to be there in your heart. जैसे बोलते हैं हिंदी में लगनी लगे तो सब कुछ हो जाए. जिसको लगनी नहीं लगी है उसको कुछ नहीं कर सकते हम.
जी, बहुत समय से इस स्थान पर बहुत लोगों से बातचीत हुई.
अच्छा.
लोग कहते हैं कि मास्टर के सामने बैठते हैं तो ध्यान लग जाता है, बाहर का कुछ नहीं आता, कोई और थॉट नहीं आता. बाहर जाके कई लोगों से बातचीत करती हूँ तो वो यही कहते हैं कि मेडिटेशन तो करते हैं लेकिन कई बार ऑफिस की टेंशन, घर की टेंशन, बहुत सारी टेंशन्स होती हैं जो दिमाग में चलती हैं. मन कंट्रोल नहीं होता, चित इधर उधर घूमता है, जो सोचना चाहते हैं उससे इतर कुछ और सोचते हैं. Why do we need a master for this meditation? Why master is important?
Well, I was just explaining कि प्राणाहुति की वजह से हमारी चेतना from thinking to feeling accelerate हो जाती है. When you are moving from thinking to feeling, तो सोचने का तो सवाल ही नहीं होता है. Then you are no longer disturbed by your own thoughts. Of course, the feelings will also disturb you later on.
Absolutely.
Right? But as we develop spiritually, the mind also begins to think correctly. See, what I should be thinking, what should not be thinking. This viveka develops as a result of meditation. Another great thing that happens because of pranahuti, that it removes our previous baggage of impressions, commonly understood in our Hindu culture as samskaras, that we bring forward during this transmigration of life, from previous life to this life, from my immediate past to the present. We are the product of the past. And the future will be decided by my present and also because of my past. What is moksha? According to our tradition, moksha means you no longer have any more samskaras to undergo. Purpose, one of the tradition is moksha. And how can you have moksha? Means cessation of circle of life. As long as I have seeds of samskaras, they are going to sprout. Whether I have good samskaras or bad samskaras, I'll have to go through them. Bad samskaras means adverse life, good samskaras means good life. But we are a mixture of both. Some people have a majority of good samskaras because of their previous karmas. Samskaras, in a way, they are called karma phalas. Okay. Now I'll bring little aspect of Gita to understand samskars. And if you read Vinoba Bhave's talks on Gita, he used to give talks in jail to his freedom fighter friends. He used to call them my brothers. And every Sunday he would give a talk extempore. And those days there were no recordings, but one of his jailmate he knew shorthands, and so he would pen it. And thanks to him, we have that availability now. Those are so brilliantly delivered. So even a simple-minded villager can also understand what Gita is all about. And what touches me the most from that discourse by Vinobaji is this aspect of karma. And then he says it can also become vikarma. That can also become akarma. And I kept on wondering, what is he trying to convey? Then he gives expressions also, but I like to further simplify it. See? That karma, everyone does, performs, even birds and dogs and donkeys, they also perform karmas, right? Human beings have the mind and intellect, consciousness, ego, all these are playing out. And because of that, the chooses or not chooses, or circumstances forces some individuals, whether you like it or not, you end up doing things despite of yourself.
Right.
That's one level of karma. When you are forced to do something, you're going to form samskars anyway. So samskars are not only created by myself. Others also can create samskars in myself.
Oh.
Yeah. For example, Lord Rama and Mother Sita, they were avatar Purushas. They didn't have a previous karma baggage. Then how in the world they suffered like nobody else? Vasishtha Muni said this will be the best marriage. You can't imagine such a worse marriage in anyone's life. Tested twice. While she was pregnant, she was abandoned, sent to the forest. And she went through all that.
Absolutely.
Now, was it in her samskars to go through all that? No. How in the world those samskars came to her to make her suffer? Others' thoughts, others' actions. Kaikeyi prevailed. If Raja Dashrath decided to go against Pran jaye par vachan nahi jaye, that promise, he could have avoided all these things.
Absolutely.
But that ego was so much that I have to fulfill my promise. Both happened. Ramayana happened because of this ego of Raja Dashrath. And also, Mahabharata happened because of the ego of
So many people, not just one.
Bhishma.
Bhishma Pitama's pratigya.
My pratigya,
that I will not
protect
get
his-
married.
If he had decided that I will go with what is right, what is dharma, forget Hastinapur for a moment.
Right.
Then he would have sided with Krishna and there would not have been any war, no destruction. Ego of a person. Vachan, my promise. Even though I may not have created, but others can influence my life. I give you another classical example that happens every single day in India and especially overseas also now. Suppose you are in love with someone in your college days and both of you decided, we will marry each other. Circumstances prevails now. You take this news to your parents and parents says, no, it doesn't belong to our caste, or it doesn't match our social stature. These birth charts, they don't match. And now what happens? Your parents have changed your destiny. Something brought you together, circumstances, your samskars brought you together. Now parents are influencing and changing the direction of your life.
That thoughts changed our life again.
Anything can happen in anyone's life.
Great. Now coming back to your life, the thought changed. Now you were not taking sannyasa. Now you were going towards the grihastha life. So
Yes.
after the completion of your education, like you were doing in the medical field, then you went to New York. How the life changed? How your marriage life changed?
Well, life didn't change much,
Okay.
actually. My inner life, it remained the same.
You were into the practice at that time.
At that time, I was already grounded into the system, and life has already taken its own course to move in a particular direction. Sometime in 1978, I was in love with one beautiful girl,
Oh,
and she was from Brahmin family, and I'm from Patel's family.
this happened after the thought of sannyas was gone. You were in love.
You were in love.
Yeah.
And then I offered her on the last day of her exams, and It also happened to be my Guruji's birthday, 30th April, 1978.
जी.
So she regrettably said, Kamlesh, I'm sorry, I cannot, we are good friends, but I didn't think it like that. I said, oh, it's okay, it's fine. Since after that, I decided it doesn't really matter whom I marry. Person whom I like to marry is no longer there now. How does it matter whom I marry now? So I said, whoever comes first, I'll marry.
So how it came?
That's
next?
how it came.
Okay.
So I was already decided that I'll going in that direction. I left things to nature, to my master. Since my will did not take me in a certain direction, let thy will be done. Right? And it happened sometime in 1980. Right?
Was your wife into the practice?
No, she
या आपने
joined.
उन्हें कन्विंस किया कि आपको भी मेडिटेशन करना चाहिए?
I didn't have to convince her.
हाँ.
Yeah. My first question to her when I met her for the first time, do you believe in God? That's all.
That's all.
That's
Just one question.
One.
And what was her answer?
Yes. That was all. I mean, और तो कितना जानोगे आप, lady or man? Even though you may live whole life together, you will never know each other. So one question is not going to solve anything.
Right.
And I had already decided, God, whomsoever you sent, I bow before you. I promise that will be the life. And that's what is happening. And went to US, started business, raised a family. But did my inner meditation life or life of yoga change? No. In fact, it flourished in United States.
Wow.
Because there were no complication in life. When you start a business, it's 1, 2, 3. Processes are so simple, predictable. Would I have been as successful here in India? Perhaps yes, perhaps no, but not without any compromise to my moral standards. You cannot predict. You cannot say what will happen when. That part is not imposed on your daily life. So life becomes very simple.
When you were in US, you were doing your business. बहुत से लोग वहाँ आसपास जो बहुत परेशान थे, बहुत स्ट्रेस थे, कभी किसी ने आपसे बातचीत की अपनी ज़िंदगी के बारे में कि हम बहुत परेशान हैं या हमें भी एक इनर सेल्फ के साथ मुलाकात की तलाश है, या आप इतने शांत कैसे रहते हैं, आपकी ज़िंदगी में परेशानी नहीं है? क्या आपके कुछ ऐसे फ्रेंड्स बने जिन्होंने कभी आपसे अपनी ज़िंदगी की बात खुलकर की हो?
Thousands of them.
And how it started?
Well, they all listen because most of my patients, being a pharmacist and daily interaction with the patients, and they all say, you are a different pharmacist. You're a different man. Maybe you are from India.
Wow.
So that image was there. How can we become? I say, you meditate. Oh, meditation, we don't know how to. I say, I'll teach you how to meditate. But then most people, including our own Indian people who understand yoga and meditation, they say, oh, it is for my life after retirement. So most people avoid it. Hardly, I would say, 2% of people I have interacted had started meditation. Very few. And out of those few who had started and experienced, it is great, but I can't meditate every morning and evening. So there's a very small selected population who would actually go towards godliness.
Right.
Because there is always a price to be paid.
Absolutely.
Right? When you say, I have to meditate in the morning, at 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, people will say, oh, I'd like to sleep. I'd like to rest. In the evening, they want to go to pub, they want to go for parties. Where is the time for evening meditation or morning meditation? Or at night time, they want to watch movies, etc. Weekends are there, instead of going for satsang, they like to go somewhere. So life life goes on and on and on in this external satisfaction, which you will never get satisfied with. How many vacations will fulfill your happiness? There is a new trend. More and more Indians in the United States. I think one vacation to Europe, next year's vacation, South America, third year's vacation, Africa, fourth year vacation, maybe we go to India.
But probably you come back and again you are stressed.
It's the same thing. In fact, people are more stressed during vacation than their ordinary life.
Besides, we're talking about stress and depression. You have also quoted in your book, in 2017, World Health Organization gave us statistic data.
Yes.
And in fact, if we talk about these days, 2023 or 24, approximately 300 million people in the world are suffering from depression. And this is very usual. It can be any one among two can be suffering from depression. But what is the remedy? What to do? How to come out that depression? Because medication is just not the answer to this.
That is true. We have to find the cause of it. I give you an example from Gita.
Ji.
I think it's chapter 2, Adhyay 2, Sloka 62. Lord Krishna talks about that every soul, every jiva is seeking happiness without any exception. Then he questions, can there be happiness without harmony? Can there be harmony without peace? Can there be peace without contemplative mind, focused mind? And can you arrive at focused mind without meditation? So now you can connect the dots. He has identified or diagnosed the problem. Why there is lack of happiness and how to solve it. Depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, or any mental ailment is because of the unregulated mind.
Right.
Unregulated means that has gone beyond your control. Something that you just cannot help. It has taken over.
Right.
It is like you are riding a horse cart or you are riding a horse. And horse goes on its own way. Or you are driving in a car, somebody is driving for you, driver is there. And he goes crazy and just drives around.
And driver is not in my control.
Same thing happens with the mind. Mind is not in your control. I want to think in certain way and it is not cooperating. So now, mind, that is the instrument, has become the boss.
Right.
People often complain that during meditation, even with great intentions of regulating the mind, still they are not able to regulate it. I give you an example of NRI children. Have you watched them at the airport?
Absolutely.
You can differentiate the NRI children and our regular Indian children. They keep jumping around.
Absolutely.
They go with their shoes on the sofa. They jump, they scream, they become very cranky, which you will not find with our children in India. Okay. Why? Those children are not controlled, regulated.
No.
They are not trained. You don't tell them don't do this or do this. Right. Now, when our mind is not in my check, I have never tried to control it. When it is thinking that I should think of this, and it keeps changing, and then it changes something else, and it changes something else, you are not able to hold it back and say, shut up.
Right.
Think in this way. So this regulation, I think we have lost that. Most people, I would say, have lost that. And when out of those 24 hours, all your waking hours are, mind has that become a wild horse. And you are trying to tame it during that 20 minutes of meditation. How is it going to happen? It's a challenging thing. But that doesn't mean we should not meditate. We should meditate and see slowly how we come to a position where mind becomes our instrument. Instead of we becoming its slave, we can regulate our mind. That's why in Yoga Shastras, people say, mind is your enemy. But my own practice and my gurus, they have advocated that there is no better friend than a mind. Once it's regulated, you can make use of this mind in a masterful way.
Wow.
Right? Same thing is ego. People say ego is a very bad thing.
Ego is a good thing.
Ego can be a good thing. It can help you progress.
Right.
I do something for my country, for example. Or I produced so much of, let us say, tomatoes this year. Or I performed my music so well. Next day, if I have to perform my music, I would like to surpass my yesterday's performance. I will not be happy if I did the same thing or below my yesterday's performance. Same thing is with product in farming. I have to better myself every time. That is evolutionary, and that is a positive use of your ego. But to think there is no better musician than myself, that will be an arrogance.
Right.
So we can use our mind as a friend. We can use our ego for our evolution. It's up to us. But both, they have to be trained through meditation.
So to get trained and to meditate, we have to initiate. Now, my next question is, आप इंडिया कैसे आए वापस? What made you come back to India?
Well, it's not that India pulled me. It's not. Or it's not that I was appalled by United States. No, as I said, I loved United States for the system they have created. India has a special field of consciousness. Right? Exactly opposite is also there in United States. But because of the system, the resistance which is there is no longer there for you. Because you have gone a little step ahead. So the surrounding doesn't actually give you trouble. You walk through a 42nd Street in Manhattan, nothing will happen to you because you have attained certain level of consciousness. First time when I reached Chicago and worked there for a few months and later on the whole life there, working period, I always felt I was walking 3 feet above the ground, literally speaking.
Why so?
It felt that I didn't belong to this earth. And same thing happens when I come to India, always as if I'm floating. My feet are not on the ground. That we don't belong. Don't let it grapple you with this worldly stuff. It's not that you are going to disown things or disown the family or your responsibilities. You have to do it the best way possible. But do it while transcending all these things.
Right. आपकी ज़िंदगी का एक बेस्ट मोमेंट और एक वर्स्ट मोमेंट. हमारी ज़िंदगी में हमेशा टर्निंग पॉइंट्स आते हैं, लेकिन एक ऐसा पल जो हम कभी नहीं भुला सकते, जो बहुत खुशनुमा होता है, और एक ऐसा होता है जो शायद हमारी ज़िंदगी का सबसे बुरा पल होता है. आपके वो दो पल कौन से हैं?
The best moment, I'll tell you, that something happened. When I received the message from my Guruji, who was already in the brighter world, and he was praising through that message that this K is a special soul, addressing K me as Kamlesh. He is a lover of love. It is up to him to fulfill a wish that can also benefit the mission. That's all. A few lines were there. And I was ecstatic because he says it's a special soul. And then writing that it is up to him to fulfill a wish that will also benefit the mission. So for months I was wondering, what is my wish? And if that is fulfilled, can also fulfill the mission? I didn't find anything at all. But then many years later, when I was announced to succeed my master, then it made all the sense that they were talking among themselves about their wish. It is up to him to fulfill our wish. Our was missing there, see. So that was, I felt really good about it.
Is it easy to balance a normal life, a family life, and the master life?
It's very easy. There is no difference actually. Once you...
People need your time, your family need your time. How you balance it?
I think it just happens. It simply happens. You don't have to make any effort. It just happens because who you are and who they are also. If they had little bit of maladjustment, one wheel is moving this way, another wheel is this way, it will not work.
दादी आपसे बात करना, मुझे लगता है मैं उम्र भर बात कर सकती हूँ, मेरी बातें खत्म नहीं होंगी। लेकिन इतनी तरफ से इशारे आ रहे हैं कि बात को खत्म करना है। लेकिन आखिरी में एक मूल मंत्र आपसे जरूर लेना चाहूंगी। आप सभी को एक क्या मूल मंत्र देंगे? जिंदगी का एक मैसेज जो पूरी दुनिया आज आपको सुन रही है, उनके लिए एक मूल मंत्र जो आपका खुद का हो।
एक के साथ जुड़ जाओ, बहुत हो जाएगा। एक साधे सब सदे, सब साधे सब जाए। एक के साथ लगनी लगा लो बस। किसी भी चीज को छोड़ना नहीं पड़ेगा। ईश्वर के साथ सही में ऑथेंटिक लव जागृत किया और इच्छा है, मेरे में इच्छा, हृदय में इतना प्यार नहीं है, लेकिन इच्छा है कि प्यार हो जाए ईश्वर के प्रति, तो बाकी ऑटोमेटिकली सब छूट जाता है। किसी चीज को छोड़ने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है। जो चीज जरूरी है आध्यात्मिकता के लिए वो रह जाती है, बाकी का ऑटोमेटिक छूट जाता है, उसके लिए कोशिश नहीं करनी पड़ती। सो वन हैज टू बी ऑथेंटिक अबाउट वंस सर्च। सही ढंग से आपके हृदय में तमन्ना है तो हो जाएगा।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दादी हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए। अमूमन हम बातचीत करते हैं तो वो संवाद होता है, आपसे बातचीत करना एक अनमोल आशीर्वाद है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू दीक्षा।
वो कहते हैं कि डेस्टिनी आप अपने प्रेजेंट को बदल सकते हैं, वो आप ही कर सकते हैं। पास्ट का बैगेज छोड़ दीजिए, लेकिन हाँ एक कनेक्शन मिल जाएगा तो मुझे लगता है ये ह्यूमैनिटी कनेक्शन हो जाएगा, और इसके साथ आप पूरी दुनिया के साथ जुड़कर इंसानियत को बढ़ावा देते हुए वो हासिल कर सकते हैं जो आप सच में करना चाहते हैं। इसी बात के साथ अभी के लिए दीजिए इजाजत और देखते रहिए संसद टीवी। नमस्कार।